Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're at, and thank you for tuning in. I wanted to get together with you this afternoon and talk about some debit and credit card tips that you may or may not know about that I thought would be of some help to you. Um, let's see, I have Jan from New York City Saves Money alongside with me. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on.
Hey, Steve. Hi, everybody.
And nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
But I wanted to talk about, credit cards and debit cards, and some of the things that people are opposed to a credit card because it can lead to a lot of debt, money that you owe. It can lead to financial ruin if you don't know how to use them properly. Well, if you use a credit card almost like it's cash, which you can, and I'll give you one tip that I have done, is if you go to buy something on a credit card, and it comes in handy when you don't have cash on hand. Let's say you go somewhere, you want to buy something, and something costs $20, but you don't have it. Go ahead and use your card. Swipe it at the register when you pay, get out, when you get ready to leave. 3 to 4 business days later, that $20 is going to become a charge. Go ahead and pay it. Same as cash. Oh, you have all that time between that time that it posted and the due date, but get rid of it. It works like a quick emergency. Got to buy something, because guess what? When an emergency hits, we don't know when, and it comes down to the point where you have to buy something then and there. You got a credit card, go for it. You can always, if you have the money in cash at another time, at another venture, or a few days later to wipe out what you owe, do that. Or let's say the balance is a higher amount. Let's say it's in the $350, $400 range. Do this. From the time that your charge posted, calculate how many weeks it is from then until your due date. Take that $350, divide it by how many weeks it is, 8, 9, whatever it is, whatever figure you get, pay that each week. By the time you get to the last week, you'll only owe one payment and it's paid off. Or if you want, if it's not a whole lot, 1 or 2 weeks before the due date, if you have the money, pay it off in full, even better. It's almost like a miniature, kind of sort of like layaway on a credit card. And it comes in handy, at least for me it has. As a matter of fact, I'm about to do a charge like that in about the next roughly 2 weeks, closer to 3, when it comes to my auto insurance. But doing it this way, yeah, I have to put a little more up front, but it saves me $184 over the course of a year. It doesn't sound like a lot, but $184 is $184. That's the way I look at it. The only other tip I have to share along with credit cards that works for me is if you want to make a little bit of a large purchase, again in the $350, $400, depending on whatever it is you want to buy, purchase something on the day your statement prints or the following day. It buys you an extra month to purchase something. Again, take those weeks, divide it, whatever you get, pay that each week. If you want to pay it off sooner, you can. It all depends. But that's a few tips that I have that I wanted to share with you when it comes to a credit card. I have a good story when it comes to a debit card. This happened to me probably in the latter part of 2002. This was when my oldest nephew was about, let me think back, he was probably 12. And he wanted to go see Made in Manhattan with Jennifer Lopez at the time. So I was waiting in line to get our tickets, but there was a holdup. So he looks at me and says, "Hey, why don't you go to the kiosk and get our tickets faster?" I thought, oh, good idea. Why don't I do that? So I walk over with him to the kiosk, put my card in, my debit, and I pick one adult, one child, and we get two tickets, one for him, one for me. We go in to the movies, go to the concession stand. I don't know of any kid that doesn't want popcorn or a drink or, something, to watch a movie. Makes you feel, that kid-like feeling. But what I noticed is after the new year, January 2nd or 3rd, that charge comes through. It clears my bank account. Normally, that took me by surprise because normally when you do a debit card purchase, the amount is supposed to come out usually right at the point of sale, not a delay. But I'm guessing the reason why, maybe because it was the holidays. It was the 23rd of December, a couple days before Christmas. I don't know. But you have to be careful with a debit card. You definitely have to make sure when you're using a debit card, make sure you have the funds in your account to purchase, because you can bounce with a debit card just as you can a check. It's basically the same thing. The only difference is one is a plastic card versus writing it out on a paper, tear it off. And do I personally like using a debit card? Not really. I would rather go the cash route. The only time I might use a debit card is if and this rarely ever happens, but let's say I go to a gas station. And this doesn't happen all that often either, but let's say I go to a gas station and I'm not too happy with where I'm at. Let's say I'm almost out of gas and I don't really feel like doing a lot of walking because I don't know the environment that's around me. I'll use my debit card at a point like that. Swipe my card, debit, put in my code, get my gas and leave. But I guess that all depends on the circumstance. But deep down, honestly, everybody's different, to each their own. I get that. But I'm not a huge fan of a debit. I would much rather use a credit. No, because it's coming off of a credit line and you're less likely to have an overdraft or a bounce. So,
Steve, I have a question.
Okay.
If you don't mind, excuse me. I love your information. No. You are totally the credit card, debit card person to go to. Would you tend to think that it's a safer bet to make online purchases with credit cards versus debit cards, as far as online safety and protection? Because I heard someone say, a mutual friend of ours say once on a show, that they would never use a debit card for online shopping. Do you think that that's probably the reason why?
I'll go along with that. I mean, you have protection either way from your bank, your credit union or your bank, and the credit union will back you because you never have to pay for charges that you didn't make. Is it safer purchasing online rather than? In a lot of ways, yes, because we live in a time where you really don't know what to expect, with this COVID-19 and more people being out of work and things like that. I would say stick with the online. That's like Black Friday. I'm not going to do Black Friday. I did that one time in 2008. My neighbor says, when I honk the horn, I'll come get you. Or when I pull up in your driveway, I'll honk the horn. 4 a.m.
Oh,
Well,
no.
that was the first and last time. So do yourself a favor, wait and shop on Cyber Monday at the computer. Same deals.
Yeah.
Um,
Less trampling.
yeah, you know, same deals. So, do that. But I would have to agree. Stick with the online shopping. It's a much safer method, and you can have it delivered right to your door. So that makes it all the better.
Where
Uh,
on the credit card bill does it state the printed statement date so people can know in advance?
oh, it's usually right on the front.
Okay.
It'll say closing. It should say closing date somewhere on the front. Um, if not that, you can always look at the date because somewhere on that statement, whether it's paperless or a paper statement, it'll say on there the date that that statement was generated.
Okay.
So,
Good. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. So that's usually how that works. But like I said, I was just wanting to get on, share a little bit of advice with and some information with, the subscribers to let people know that I'm slowly trying to come back. And the only other thing I wanted to include is my progress. Is it better? Well, I'll give you an example. Today, earlier, I decided to do a little shopping. I went to Walmart. I should have got a writing card in the beginning, but I decided to use a shopping cart and I went into the grocery section and I picked up a couple of things and I walked back over to pharmacy because I was needing some, some ibuprofen and I was needing, some health and beauty products, toothbrushes and things like that. But halfway through, I had to take a stop in the shoe department. And I stopped and sat for about 12 minutes, maybe 15. And then I got up and I walked the rest of the way and got what I needed. And then I went ahead and proceeded to check out, and I checked out. And I want to say I did pretty good because Walmart is a super center, pretty good sized store.
Awesome.
Yeah. Then when I get to my car, I look down. I said $4.96 for two toothbrushes. No. So I waited another 10 minutes, got up. Now, mind you, I went in through the grocery door, but I came out outdoor living. So I went back in outdoor living because I saw 4 writing cards. So I went in, grabbed a writing cart, went to customer service, got my money back. And then I rode around looking, went back to toothbrushes, couldn't really find what I wanted. So I rode around a little bit more, another 5-10 minutes. But then right on the main aisle where you go out, when you go to the registers, there's usually this this stand that has a lot of travel size shampoo, soap, toothbrushes in this blue thing. It's on all 4 sides. I looked down and it said reach. I said, oh, here's my toothbrushes, 97 cents.
Oh my gosh.
So I got that and I paid and I checked out, paid, and I left and I sat down in my car for another 10 or 15 minutes.
That was smart, taking those little, short breaks and stopping.
Yeah, yeah. So my progress is slowly picking up.
Good.
My muscles in my upper leg, especially my left one, does hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
When I left this morning to leave, not really, but I'm feeling it in my upper left leg a little bit, and I also feel it in my ankles a little bit in my feet.
It means you're making progress.
Yes, so the muscle strength, pain or hurt or discomfort, whatever you want to call it, it's shifting around, but it's a lot less. So I'm slowly regaining.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to do was read some comments. Michigan lady, Hi, Michigan lady. Good to see you. Hello, living in the moment. Glad that you could be a part of this today. Um, let's see. Michigan lady says, I don't have a credit card. Should I get one? All right. I am about to help you drastically. If you are a member of a credit union, I highly recommend getting a credit card through a credit union. I'll tell you why. No transaction fees. If you do a balance transfer, they're going to charge you a 2, 3, 4, 5% fee. The rates of your APRs for purchases are usually lower in some cases, but I would much rather have a credit card through a credit union rather than a bank. I've got a couple that are from a bank. One of them is not of any real help to me. I mean, I got the 0% balance transfer offer, but they're not going to budge on the transaction fee. It's still 5%. I thought because I was in good standard with them or in a good position. Oh, no, no.
Wow.
But that's okay. But I do recommend a credit union card. And I want to thank you for that I'm healing. It's a slow process. I'm getting there. Like I said, I didn't need to take that fall in February, but this time I'm doing things the right way. My legs are a lot stronger now than they were back in February because I had hurt my foot in January and I snapped back too quick. That's the mistake I made.
Mm.
This time I'm taking things in stride, a little bit slower. Slow and steady wins the race. So that's
True.
what I'm doing here. Well, I can't think of anything else to include except, if I may, you're welcome to say it or I can say it on your behalf. If you have not been to Jan's channel, Jan from New York City Saves Money, as you see it written there, definitely go over and check out her channel. She has a lot of good information. She has a lot of, especially grocery tips and budgets and
Thank
things
you.
like that. So if that's your thing, I definitely recommend going over there and checking her out, and also subscribing if you're not a subscriber. And also, in my behalf, if you can, if you if you're new here, just passing by, and you like what you see, by all means, please, go ahead and like and subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. Like I said, I'm still in the incubator stage when it comes to a subscriber, although I've been on YouTube for quite some time, listening to music and watching interviews and things like that. But this is my first attempt at having my own channel, although I have been and am a channel contributor on Jan's channel. Perhaps, if you go
Which is
back.
so nice. Thank you so much. You've
Yeah.
actually been like really technically, Steve has actually been YouTubing quite a while.
Yeah. About, doing that, I guess, probably a little over a year
Absolutely.
with you. So,
So thanks
yeah,
so much.
you're welcome. Well, if there's anything else that you might want to include, I've pretty much, came on and said what I had to. I don't know. I mean, I hate to, have you on as a guest and not really say a whole lot,
Oh,
but
no. Thank you so much. And thank everyone. And Steve, you really, I mean, you know so much about financials. One day, I think it would just be so cool, like something to consider, maybe as some sort of collab show or something, if you want to consider doing a Q&A with credit cards, because you are absolutely spot on with the credit card. I mean, you know a lot, but the credit cards, because people have so much questions about that. Maybe we could throw out like a request if you have questions and leave it in the comment section, and they could always save it for a future show if you want to consider that. Would that be nice? Anybody that's watching, would you like something like that? A Q&A about credit cards with Steve?
Yeah, because, a little bit of input. Like I said, I just shared a few of my helpful tips.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have other
Yeah.
questions they want to ask, and like I said, I'm open to hearing what people have to say. If I don't know, I'll come out and say I don't know, or if it's a possibility, I might have to get back to you on that.
That's it.
And then I can just get back, say on a different live or a different upload. I can go ahead and say whoever the person was, the answer to their question is, and then just go ahead and just say it, on another. And that's me getting back to them. So, I mean, because if I don't know, I need to know what I need to know. If I don't know, I need to know.
That's a good way of looking at it. I like that approach.
It's kind of, with me, it's kind of like that old
traffic
80s National Enquirer commercial from the 80s. Inquiring minds want to know. That's me.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Michigan lady said she loves your channel. Who doesn't?
Oh, we love you.
Yeah, we do. Living in the moment. She says, I'm crushing on all of Jan's recipes.
I can't. Michigan ladies, wonderful. All of you guys are wonderful. Living in the moment has actually created a few of the recipes that I've demonstrated, and I have to say, you make them look about a bazillion times better than I could ever do it. So thank you.
Yeah. And Living in the Moment has a question for me. Let's see. She says, I made an overpayment on a credit card statement of $31. Shouldn't they send that money back to me? Okay. There's nothing wrong with making an overpayment on a credit card. What it does is it gives you a plus. It's a plus. What it is the money's there. It's $0, yes, but it's $31 to the good. Yes, you can call them and say, hey, I made an overpayment of $31. Is there any way you could send me this amount back? They'll gladly do it. Or it's the consumer's choice. Or you can just leave the money there and then just use your card until that balance is used up. It's not money that you owe. It's to your benefit. I've done it before. I've made overpayments. I've done prepayments. A prepayment, if you owe a balance before the balance shows up as a charge, it'll actually cause you to pay less money because the charge will be lower. But yes, call them up if you want the money back. They'll gladly send it to you, or you can just leave it. Either way.
That was a great question.
Yeah, it was. That was a good one.
And a great answer.
Well, I mean, I've made overpayments in the past. Of course, they always sent me back a paper check. Oh, you don't think you'll be using it again? All right. In that case, just make your call and have them just send it back to you. And then then that's an end. Then you can cut ties or whatever, between you and that credit card company. But they'll gladly send you the money back. Now, I know how she feels. I've been in the position with credit cards that I never wanted to have any transaction with anymore. So I know how that is. Okay. No, I don't see anything else.
Can I just mention one more thing? Thank you for all your, by the way. But I have a problem with a kitchen utensil. Now, I know this has nothing to do with credit cards. And tonight there's a bonus upload from me. It's only 4 minutes long, It's going to be uploaded at 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you have an opportunity, everyone, I need your help. I'm not going to tell you what it's about completely. If you can, check it out. 7:05 p.m. tonight. 4 minutes, very short.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. You're welcome.
I need the audience help on this. I honestly do. When you see the video, you'll understand.
Okay. No, I'll tune in. Okay. All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
you're welcome. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and thank you for participating. I know I did most of the talking, so hopefully, this was, a little lesson 101. Hopefully, I was a food for thought for you in this case, but, to help you out. But, if ever, if not, it's something that you'll remember and have in your memory. But I just want to thank you, and I want to thank everybody for participating to come on. And thank you for the question, living in the moment. You'll be fine. And like I said, I don't know when I'm going to do my next upload or a live. It shouldn't be too much longer. I'm slowly trying to get back into this. Like I said, as my progression improves,
Right.
grace of God, I'll be doing a little more on here, because I definitely want to keep you guys as my subscribers.
Well, we're thrilled. I mean, I could speak on behalf of many. We're thrilled that you're getting better.
Yeah, me too. All right. Okay, Janet. Well, I'm going to say thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will see you guys next time in the near future. Bye.
Bye.